All right. Well, praise the Lord, everybody. I ain't been on Facebook Live in a little while, but I want to get on here and I want to have a conversation. I want you to talk back to me about what you um, see going on in the world today. Um, well, first off, I want to pose the question, um, where is the church? I want to pose that question. Where is the church? Um, because what I've seen so far from the church is this: everybody wants to get back into the sanctuary, everybody wants to get back into a building, but the church has not really focused on the matters at hand. Um, the church as a whole has not really touched on the things that need to be touched on. Uh, we, the people, are the church. The church is not a building, okay? Uh, it's like the church wants to get back into the four walls when the church needs to be outside of the four walls at this moment in time. Um, that's why I believe God sent this virus to come uh, and allowed government officials to not allow the church to be inside of a building. Um, because I believe it's time for the church to come outside of the four walls, stop having services inside of the four walls, and really get to the people, really touch the people, really talk to the people. You understand? Uh, we have all of these things going on. We have the coronavirus. We have these police brutality. We have so many things happening in this world, but the church wants to get back inside of the four walls. It baffles me. It baffles me. Uh, I don't understand. I don't understand what's the you know me personally. I I don't feel as though that we the church need to be back in the four walls right now. Soon as the president and governors they started to say, oh well, the church can come back and the church can reopen and things like that. The church was never closed because again, we the people are the church. It just was the buildings had to be closed. We couldn't gather together. Somebody asked me the other day. They said, "Are you gonna come? To so and so's church?" I said, "Oh no, I'm not coming." One reason was because only 50 people can come, and I'd rather wait. But then also another reason why I said no was because I'm not in such a rush to get back inside of the four walls. You know, I'm not in such a rush. Uh, I honestly, I like not being able to come inside of the four walls of a building because coming inside of the four walls is not really doing anything when we have so much going on the outside. It's not doing anything. So that's why I asked the question, where is the church? Because coming inside these four walls is not doing anything. Folks are so worried and just they just want to get back inside of the walls when we really need to be on the outside. We really need to be going out and talking with the people. seeing what we can do. We need to go to these government offices and talking with the government officials. We need to be protesting the right way, not rioting, but protesting the right way. Trying to find justice, trying to find peace, trying to find solutions for the stuff that's going on in this world today. Where is the church? I see so many gospel artists, some have posted about the recent events. But yet that's all I've seen. You can post on your social media page, platform, whatever, but at the end of the day, if that's all you're doing, then what you're doing is in vain. I need to see these so-called gospel singers and these so-called preachers. Where are we? Why are we not out there on the forefront? Why are we not out there in the field doing something? You so worried about getting your members back inside of the four walls when you really need to be out there talking with the people. Talking with these families. Finding solutions for your community. Trying to make a change, trying to make a difference. But yet you worried about getting your members back into the four walls. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. This whole situation right here just proves as to why nobody needs to be inside of the four walls of the church. But yet a lot of people, they're not going to listen. They're not going to listen. They're still going to do what they want to do. They're still going to come back inside the four walls and have their services. They're going to have their services. They're going to do what they want to do. They feel as though that, it's better to be inside of the four walls and preach our feel-good messages. Preach our feel-good messages. Preach the messages that's going to make the people give money and not go out into the four walls. That's for the world to deal with. The church don't need to deal with that. That's a bunch of bull. That's a bunch of BS, in my opinion. The church needs to get outside of the four walls and start talking with the people. Start ministering to the people. Start doing things for the community. I want to talk about rioting and protesting. Those are two different things. People feel as though that if they was to go and loot and set stuff on fire and steal things, do all of that, they feel as though that's protesting. That's not protesting. Protesting is what Martin Luther King did, walking down the street, walking up to these government buildings, standing outside, demanding change. Protesting is fighting for your rights. What they did in the 50s and the 60s, they went up to the Supreme Court. They went all the way to the Supreme Court. Failed each time, but then after a while, after they kept going, they kept pushing, kept going, they eventually got a change done. They boycotted. They stopped riding the buses. Why? Because they believed in a change. They wanted a change. That's what we need to do today. That's what we need to do in this hour, in this year. We need to start protesting for what we believe in. We need to start fighting for what we, as the black community, believe in. Because if we don't do nothing, these folks are going to keep on killing us. They're going to keep on killing us. Don't get me wrong, not everybody's going to change. But if we keep on fighting, majority of this world is going to look at us as the black community and say, you know what? It's not right to keep killing them. It's not right doing what we're doing. But if we as the black community don't stand up and do something, nothing's ever going to change. Nothing is ever going to change if the black community don't step up and do something. We want change, but we don't put it in action. That's like, I heard somebody say, that's comment without contribution. We make so many comments, but yet we're not contributing to what we're talking about. We say we need change, but we don't make the change ourselves. I'm not condoning nothing that these police officers are doing. Because regardless, I mean, honestly too, regardless of whether we protest and we fight for change, some people are still going to do what they want to do. Some people are still going to try to kill us. That's just self-explanatory. But if we continue to fight and if we continue to try to make a change, well, guess what? It's going to be less of that. It's going to be less of the killings that we see today. There's going to be less of the white on black crime. White police officers killing black people. It's going to be less of that if we get up and make the change, make the difference. Because what they did in the 50s and the 60s, they protested for a change. They fought for a change. They got up every day. They boycotted the buses. They said, we're going to stop getting on the buses until y'all make a change. We're going to stop doing certain things until a change happens. And guess what? Some people changed. Not everybody. Because you still got racists in this world today. But majority of the people, they changed how they thought, how they was thinking. They said, I did want segregation, but now I want integration. Why? Because people got out and they did what they had to do. They made the difference. They made the change. They fought for what they believed and they fought for what was right. We as the black community, we as people today need to fight for what we believe in. Fight for the change. Fight for the difference. We as the black community need to get into these offices and do something. Do something. Do something. All of this, the rioting about, breaking into these stores and setting stuff on fire, that is not the answer. It's not the answer, because that's why people look at the black community as the way they do. That's why people look at us black people the way they do. It's because a lot of us respond to stuff with violence. Everybody want to set stuff on fire. They want to go steal, break into stores. And then you wonder why people look at you the way you do. You wonder why people look at the black community the way they do. Because y'all want to get out there. As soon as something happens that you don't like, you want to go and you want to go riot. You want to go set stuff on fire. You quick to fight. You quick to cuss, or you quick to make a scene. But yet you want people to treat us differently. You want the white community to treat us differently. But yet you don't want to make the change. Yet you don't want to make the change within yourself to change the perception of other people. Don't get me wrong. Like I said before, some people are never going to change the way they think. But there's other people out there, they will change the way they think. change the way they act if we change ourselves as well. And so I just really wanted to get on here and say that because it is sad what's going on in this world. It is sad that the church is so worried about getting inside of the four walls when we really need to be outside of the four walls at this point in our life. At this point in this hour of what we're living in, the church needs to be outside of the four walls. I believe that nobody should be opening up their sanctuaries. Nobody. I believe that not one pastor should open up their sanctuary. And that's just me. That's just how I feel. I don't care how you can feel otherwise. I don't care what you want to say. But I believe that no pastor should be opening up their sanctuaries. All sanctuaries should be closed. Because the church does not need to be inside of the four walls. The church needs to be outside of the four walls doing something. Doing something. Out there making a difference, making a change. The church does not need to be inside the four walls. That's why I'm not going back. I'm not going back inside the four walls. I'm just not. I'm just not. You can say I'm being out of order. You can say I'm being disobedient. But I'm not going back inside of the four walls until I see the church making a difference outside of it. No sanctuary should be open. None. None. Because what is us coming back inside of the four walls gonna do? Nothing. You can preach on Facebook Live. You can preach on Instagram Live. But if you're not coming back, but if you're not like outside of the four walls doing something, then coming back inside of the four walls is not gonna do anything. If you're outside the four walls and you're not doing nothing, what's coming back inside the four walls going to do? So, I just pray. I pray for the family, again, of George Floyd. I pray for all families that may be dealing with this same situation. Just their situation hasn't went viral like George Floyd's. But I pray there's somebody that may be dealing with police brutality. Even at this moment, we don't know. Somebody could be dealing with it right now. I pray for them. I pray for the church. That the church will come together on one accord and get their self back together. That I pray that the church comes together as one and try to make a difference. I heard a preacher say, and I'm going to stop here. I heard a preacher say, the church made itself non-essential. The church made itself non-essential. Ponder on that for a second. The church made itself non-essential.